a disappointing loss today. I mean, what went wrong? How do you assess it?
Yeah, it was very disappointing. I don't know. I thought our energy just looked a little bit off last week. We looked to be on top of the ground, getting across, outnumbering, getting to contests. And I thought today we were slipping over. And to Gold Coast credit, we knew they'd come out fired up, and I thought they competed really strongly. But our ability to execute as the game went on probably dropped away. And as what's happened in the past, sometimes I think we end up winning the hardball gets. We get on the inside and we were trying, but when we lost the ball and got it on the outside, they got on the outside. I thought they moved it, particularly by foot. Our ability to number off and defend wasn't good enough. They didn't come with anything we weren't expecting. We just didn't execute at the level that we need to execute at. And it's frustrating. Last week we did it. This week we didn't. And that's where we're at. And that's why we're not going to be in the finals, because we're not consistent enough with those habits.
David, you've talked a lot about faith in the group and your faith in the group. Do performances like today and a few weeks ago, does that dent your faith in this group?
I have faith in the group. I think there's a challenge point for our group, particularly probably from an expectation point of view. When frustration occurs, our ability to stay in the moment and stick to the process and be able to execute. So a couple of times when we've probably gone in as favourites, we haven't actually played as well. In other games, when we've got a long way behind and the shackles come off, we play some nice football. So we've got to find a way to be able to stay really present and be able to execute at our best for longer. And that's what the good teams do, whether in front, they keep the same habits, or whether they're behind, they keep fighting. And for us, it's that consistency throughout our journey of being able to do that. It's not at the level.
Was there a lack of effort at times today, David, or is it simply just executing skill and system?
I don't think it was a lack of effort. I thought our energy looked off, even when guys fell over. The speed we got back up to our feet. I thought our energy looked off, which is interesting. Last week we had a 6-day turnaround, and we were good. We were great energy. We probably got whacked, and we wanted to respond. This week, we had 8 days, and for whatever reason, I thought, we weren't as sharp. Our decision-making, our speed to react just wasn't at its best. In terms of effort, I thought when they got there and the effort from a tackle point of view, from going and win the ball, but I thought as frustration set in, we probably tried over hard rather than just executing our roles.
I mean, David, like finals was still very much on the line leading into this game. What do you put it down to, like the things not going right when so much was at stake, I guess?
Yeah, well, maybe I was thinking about the outcome rather than the process, and sticking to that and being able to execute in the moment. And probably a week ago, the players may have thought that finals was out of contention, and now it was on their mind. Maybe they've been thinking about it too much. So if that was the case, each individual would have to look at that closely. But as a group, we went with a clear plan and a focus on how to play the game, and we weren't able to execute that. So we need to be able to keep improving, growing, and become more consistent in that. I think we've all seen, and our fans will be disappointed and frustrated because we've done it at times. We're not doing it enough consistently. So we've got a lot of work to continue with.
Do you think any of the outside noise, David, has impacted in terms of that pressure on the playing group, and perhaps looking forward to make finals? Do you think that outside noise has, I guess, mounted more pressure on the playing group?
Oh, probably. It's probably something that they haven't had for a long time, this football club, in terms of that playing finals. It's been a while. You'd have to, each individual would probably be different, but as a collective, you could be right. I found probably in the past, our ability to go and execute with that expectation there is something we need to improve on. We need to just get really present and just go out there and be our absolute best. And some weeks when you're at your absolute best, you play a better team. And that's okay. And you lose, but it's when you're not at your best and you lose, it's really frustrating.
David, the heat will obviously come on the club and yourself now. You're still up for the challenge. You still believe you're the right man going forward, given there's an external review that's probably going to come down in the next couple of weeks?
Absolutely. I'm really confident in myself, in the team we've got here, and the direction we're going.
What's going to change then, David? Obviously something has to change. What do you think has to change for the group to find, a higher level and consistently?
Yeah, well, it's that consistency of performance and being able to get into that state where we can play near our best more often. So there's going to be some of that's going to be cohesion, players playing together and getting more time together, and some of that's just individuals being more consistent within their own performances and as a group, as a collective. That's what's going to take us forward. We think we've got a list that can improve and get better, and we'll keep working really hard on doing that.
Just injury-wise, David, how are Harry Mackay and Sam Walsh, who both came off in that last term?
Yeah, I don't even know what Sam did. I haven't followed up. It's been a bit of a quick turnaround. Harry hurt his shoulder, so he went back out there. So hopefully it's okay. We'll have to review them in the morning and see how they pulled up.
David, it was obviously a tough day for Eddie Betts as well, but to get out there and play after, having a lot of heat on him, what's going on elsewhere, how big an effort was it him to get out there today? Was he always desperate to play and the like?
Oh, yeah, he was only going to play if he was right. And he looked early in the week, he looked like he was going to be ready to go. So, no, he from a physical point of view, he was in good shape. Are you referring to the off-field?
Yeah, I was going to say from an emotional point of view, obviously, with what happened with Taylor Walker, just get a feeling for how difficult it was for him going into a game. And he obviously had that message, no room for racism, on his wristband today, which was a great message.
Yeah, look, Eddie and our football club are very strong around that, and obviously Carlton respects round in itself as being in a position of public interest. We have the ability to try and influence others, and we believe strongly in that. I know Eddie was linked into it a fair bit through the AFL, so. He said, I spoke to him yesterday, and he said he felt really good about the game. He's excited to be back out there. But I do have no doubt that not only Eddie, but for a lot of the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders, they'll be hurt by that. And we need to, as a nation, as a football community, we need to keep educating and keep looking to improve and get better around racism, because it's not an acceptable level, and we need to continue calling it out.
David, what did you make of Charlie Curno's game today? Obviously, his second game back. Obviously, he wasn't dominant, but he seemed to show some good signs.
Yeah, he looked like he had his run back up, especially getting up high on that fat side, taking a few marks. He's still got a little bit of work to do in the one-on-ones. I thought Ballard probably beat him in the one-on-one contest. Yeah, look, he's missed a lot of footy, as we're aware. Second game back. It was good to have him out there, but I think he's got a fair bit of improvement in him, which is exciting for our fans, and we can't wait to see that. And he's working really hard at the moment. So I've got no doubt over the journey he'll be back playing that footy that our supporters love seeing.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
No worries. Thanks.